Good morning, dear students. Today we will continue with our chapter in earliest cities. Yesterday we have studied about the Indus Valley civilization, the town planning, and the city life, village life. Today we will continue with the chapter trade. Now, how was the trade in the Indus Valley civilization that time? See, trade and commerce was flourishing in Harappan age. Means people were actually having some or the other work. They were not like uh, people of Stone Age. Okay. Now trade and commercial activities were carried on through sea as well as land routes. Means not only on land but also through the sea routes all the trade and commercial activities were working. Carts, chariots, and animals were means of transports as far as land trade is concerned. For sea trade, big boats were used. Okay, now because of the land trade, they were domesticating the animals. Animals like horses, camels, such kind of animals were domesticated. Elephants. Domesticated means पाले जाते थे. Why? To train them to carry things from one place to another. Okay. Then Harappan people had trade relations within India as well as with countries outside India. See, within India they were working, trading, having business, exchange of goods, but even they were having work outside the India. That's the reason why sea was used. Sea was used for trade. Big boats, ship-like boats for carrying their goods from one place to another. One come from India to other country. The Mesopotamian texts of the same period refer to trade relations with Meluha, which was the ancient name given to Indus region. With no clear evidence of currency or money being used, the exchange must have been through barter system. Now here, barter system means trading where in exchange of one good, instead of money, another good was exchanged. पैसे नहीं देते थे कोई भी चीज़ खरीदने के लिए, लेकिन अगर you have purchased 1 sack of wheat from me, in exchange of that 1 sack of pulses or dal I will be providing. Means taking one thing and giving another thing, goods. That was known as barter system. Now Harappan script. Now what is script? Script is the earliest form of writing discovered in India. The Harappan script is the form of writing which was discovered in India. Now there Harappan people, they were not able to read and write like us what we are doing, but still they have their own pattern of reading and writing, and through this they were giving messages to one another. Now these scripts has been engraved on various seals. Now what are seals? See, in the image you are able to see metal blocks. On that few figures are engraved. Engraved means उसमें खुदे हुए थे, so that you are able to read or identify what signs are there and able to understand what is the message being given. Now, this Harappan script is regarded as pictographic since its signs represent birds, fish, and a variety of human forms. Now, human forms means uh, picture of a human in different poses with different actions doing by hands and legs or different gestures, trying to give message to others, those who are reading or watching this, what they want to say. The language of Harappan people is unknown as its script has not been deciphered till date. See, up till now, no one has been able to understand or read this script. But yes, this was the script everyone knows. How to read it, what the sign says, what the sign tells, no one has been able to understand. Then, what were the food styles of Harappan? See, the Indus Valley people has a balanced diet comprising staples, meat, fruit, and vegetables. Or agriculture was there, so all type of food items were available. Maize and barley were the main staple food. Maize and barley were the main staple food there, and domesticated animals like goats and cows provided milk and meat. As I told you, they had started domesticating the animals for their trade purposes as well as providing them milk and meat. There is evidence of more fruit and vegetables as the preferred source of nourishment than meat. They were majorly vegetarian, that means majorly they were vegetarian. Now the clothing styles of that time, see, you can see in the picture what type of clothing style they had. Earliest evidence of cotton clothing was found in the Indus Valley civilization and was used extensively for trading. Indus Valley civilization religion. Religion means dharma. I told that no particular god or goddesses anyone has been able to identify, but there are still traces from which we are able to identify that they were religious. They were worshipping few gods. Like the chief male deity was the Pashupati Mahadev. The chief deity, the male god was Pashupati Mahadev. That means Shiva represented in the seals as sitting in yogic posture on a low throne and having three faces and two horns. Three faces and two horns on the head. He is surrounded by four animals: elephant, tiger, rhino, and buffalo, each facing a different direction, and two deer appear at his feet. See, this Lord image with so many animals together was found. Chief female deity was the mother goddess who has been depicted in various forms. Means no particular form of goddess, but in various forms we have found the images. Now the social structure of that time. See, the social structure was primarily based on occupation and segregated in four main groups. The four main groups are Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishya, and Shudras. This we have already discussed in our civics chapter. There we have seen the four different varnas, and it is the same which was found even in the Indus Valley civilization as well. Now, political and administrative structure. What is political and administrative structure that time? See, one of the factors that make this civilization so unique and that has surprised the scholars is that there has been no mention of any ruler or powerful authority throughout the region. Neither do we know anything about their governing system. Means we don't know whether there was a ruler, any minister or something there, but the things were very smooth. Although it is very clear that it is unlikely that such an organized and systematic society can exist without any local and central control. These cities show very little or no evidence of it whatsoever. The closest depiction of a figure is a terracotta sculpture of what is believed to be the priest king. The king or the ruler is totally absent from the art or any other form of depiction. Means from any art we are not able to identify whether there was any king or any queen. We have no traces about it. Now, before we go for decline of the civilization, we know that this Harappan cities were found in Gujarat, which you are able to see in your textbook page number 32. They are Goladharo, that was a newly excavated site in the Kutch region. Archaeological findings suggest that articles of shell, faience and copper were manufactured here. Finished and unfinished shell bangles have been found from this site. A wide open area was also there in the settlement where public ceremonies could be held. A very distinct seal has been found from this site, which is hollow and shaped like a box. Now, Lothal. What is Lothal? The city of Lothal is a coastal site. Coastal site means near the sea. It is situated between Bhogava and Sabarmati river in Gujarat, that is close to the Gulf of Khambat. Since Lothal was a port town, it had easy access to raw materials such as semi-precious stones. Lothal was an important center for creating objects out of shells, metals and stones. Okay. Seals and ceilings. The lower town had workshops of shell workers and coppersmiths. The most important brick structure of Lothal is the dockyard where goods were loaded and unloaded. Means see, in such a ancient time also all these things were practiced which we are practicing at present. This confirms that it was an important trading center. Trading center means most of the business deals, everything was happening from this city, which Lothal. Then Dholavira. The city of Dholavira is situated in Khadir Island in the run of Kutch. It is locally known as Kotada. As per size, it is one of the largest settlements in India and among the 5 largest city sites in the Indian subcontinent, unlike some other Harappan cities which were divided into 2 parts. Now Dholavira was divided into 3. Up till now what we have seen, cities of 2 parts. This particular city was divided into 3 parts. And what was that? A citadel, a middle town, and a lower town. Now, each part was surrounded by massive stone walls along with big gateways. To the north of the citadel was a large open area probably used for public ceremonies. Means community halls were also there. Big halls means community halls where we are at present we perform any kind of functions and all. That time also such kind of facilities were available. They were using. Now Dholavira has evidence of copper working and bead working areas. The most extraordinary find is the oldest signboard in the world having a large inscription and made up of 10 letters. The inhabitants had also learned the art of conserving water in reservoirs and dams. Okay, after that, now we see decline of the civilization. Decline means the ending, how the civilization ended. Now, for this, there are many different opinions of different intellectuals. Like scholars have put forward number of theories to explain the decline and the final collapse of the Indus Valley civilization. Some of these theories highlight the natural causes, whereas others mention human causes for the decline. Three most prevalent theories for the decline of the civilization are: the first one is invasion by conquerors like the Aryans. Second says ecological disturbances like low rainfall, floods, change in the course of the river. And the third point says that there could be a natural disaster like earthquakes which have resulted in the decline. But not very confirm we know about it, but there are different opinions. The Indus Valley civilization lasted for around 1.5 millennia. According to archaeologists, its decline began by 1500 BCE. When it began in 1500 BCE. Now, historians and archaeologists are still searching for reasons that can explain the weakening and ultimate collapse of this civilization. Some of the most discussed views with regards we have discussed. Now, what all things this Indus Valley has contributed in our even modern day civilization? The first is the irrigation, means agriculture. We know even now agriculture is the most important sector in our economy in our country because that's the only source from where every individual living being gets to eat. Use of bricks, even now we are using bricks only for making buildings. Plumbing, from that time the drainage and sewage systems are there which we are following even now. Social structure, the structure of the town, plots, their houses, sizes, the shapes, what should be there, what not should be there, inside the house, outside the house. The grid pattern of roads. Grid pattern means planned roads, not like gullies what we have. Planned roads. Clothing, use of cotton clothes, use of seals and symbols. Seals and symbols means different symbols to convey the message to others. Domestication of animals, and also use of clay and metal for art and craft. These all things we are even now following in our modern day civilization as well. Now, passage of time in human history. See, human beings appeared on the earth about 1.5 million years ago, and they were food gatherers then. Even in the first chapter of history, we have seen at that time human beings were only food gatherers. कुछ पकाना बनाना उगाना नहीं आता था, जो है बस उसको जमा करके खुद खाना आता था. That's why they were known as food gatherers. The beginning of agriculture took place just about 10,000 years ago. See, 1.5 million years ago, human beings were existing, but agriculture and all these things started just 10,000 years ago. The emergence of cities is even more recent. Cities developed in the Indus Valley only 4,500 years ago and disappeared about 3,500 years ago. The picture on page number 33 in your textbook, you can see the passage of time in human history. Okay, so this was all for the chapter. We will be now tomorrow continuing with the notebook work. Thank you, kids.